You never can stop playing.
I just can't stop playing this trumpet. Ever since my mother bought my first trumpet when I was 11 years old, I can't stop playing this trumpet.
It is the same.
And before I get 50, I'll look like Louis Armstrong.
And start singing.
Everything I have is yours. No, seriously, just think if it wasn't for Louis, Dizzy, and all the rest of those people, Roy Eldridge, Clifford Brown, I wouldn't be playing what I'm playing today.
That's right. Thank you very much there.
Thank you.
Freddie, what was your first, we go back in history now a little, I guess. What was really the first record that you ever heard on the radio or wherever?
Strangely enough, I heard albums by Chet Baker in Indianapolis. Because for some reason his records were played a lot in the Midwest. I'm from the Midwest in the States. And Quiet. No,
Strangely enough, right?
Chet Baker, I heard him first, then I heard Clifford Brown, then I heard Dizzy Gillespie, then I heard Fats Navarro, Miles, a bunch of others, Lee Morgan, Clifford Brown, but Clifford was my main influence, Clifford Brown.
Is there anybody around at this moment where you say, hey, we better watch those guys here?
Well, there's Woody Shaw and Wynton Marsalis. They're young, you know. And they're playing very good. Yeah. And it takes a while to develop a style on this trumpet. You know, there's so many trumpet players out here.
Right now, back here, you mean?
I mean, no, seriously. There's everywhere you go, you find some young guy who can really play. I mean, so it's encouraging because there has to be somebody that comes along and plays the trumpet that carries on the tradition of this music. And it's good that there's always somebody like a Woody Shaw or Wynton Marsalis.
What's next? Any new records by the quintet that we just heard or not? It's high time, I think.
Yeah, it would be nice. But we haven't made any so far. But we might make one in Italy. I'm not sure. But we finish here in Europe, then we go to Japan.
Because, I mean, this concert is worth a nice live recording.
Yes. Why don't you give me the tape?
Okay, thank you very much.
Give me the tape.
Freddie Hubbard.
Give me the tape.
Where is the tape?
Where is the tape?
Where is Ron Carter?
Okay, thank you, man.
Okay, thank you.
Give us the tape.
Give us the tape. I'll see you in a minute.
Sounds great, man.
Go ahead. Go ahead and talk to him.
Sure.
Now that Freddie is asking about a tape, you mean this concert was better than the ones before?
They all get better. I think one of the fun things about this kind of band is that every night the music changes of a very positive nature. And while we will feel good about tonight's performance, we look forward to tomorrow night's being maybe that much better.
Every time, growing and growing.
Yeah, that's the name of the game.
Yeah, and for us it seems like the top already, you know.
Well, it's nice to have...
Where is the top really?
Oh, no one looks for the top. It just looks for getting to wherever that top is. You know?
The neighborhood.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the general vicinity of.
Yeah. Ron, would you mind telling me a little about influences in your early stage of this jazz game?
No one, particularly anyone who played good, influenced me. That level of consistency that J.J. Johnson shows, or Ahmad Jamal, or Israel Crawford. Players of that type who always played a high level at any point in the night. That was probably my biggest influence. That showed to me that this music, as difficult as it is, with the proper attitude, can sound great every night, and it'll sound exceptional most nights. That's been my biggest influence in the music.
Yeah, not particular bass player.
No. Only because I guess I heard of my own sound and coming to work on my own sound. How do you define that?
Yeah.
You know?
Why did you start on the cello? You did, right?
I did when I was 11 or so.
But why was it a cello?
That was the instrument that they had around the instrument in the school, and that's when that caught my ear. And as I grew older and society dictated a certain change of career direction, I started playing bass when I was 17, 18, like that.
Mm-hmm.
I've been playing since then.
What was your first gig on bass then?
The first, I guess you call a name gig, was Chico Hamilton, 1959 with Eric Dolphy, Then it's Vladimir, Nat Gershwin, and of course Chico for about 6 months.
Beautiful. Well, we really hope that the quintet, as we heard it tonight, will be recording soon for a record label.
We've talked about it. We haven't gotten anyone offering any money or facilities yet, but that's kind of out of our hands. All we can do is want to do it.
Beautiful. Thank you very much, Ron Carter.
Thank you.
Wordt gehaald even. Wie? Oké, de drummer nog even. Ja? Ga je wel een beetje punten. Moet die man een power hebben? Conditie van zijn leven. Dat zie je ook aan zijn hele leven. Ja, hè? Tony Williams, die begon 18, 19 jaar bij Ricky McLean of zo. Yeah, Ron? I see you tonight. It'll be a year before we see each other again. Come to New York, man. You still live on Riverside Drive? Western Avenue. I'm in the phone book. Riverside Drive. Oh no, Western Avenue. Ah, I'm in the phone book though. Near the club.
Okay.
It's not the cigarettes, it's always the package.
That's right. It's the package that does it, not the cigarettes, not the tobacco.
When I made the announcement, Joe, for this concert, for this beautiful concert, I should have to add, I told the audience that you were a leader right from the start. Is that so, really?
You know,
did I lie?
No, not exactly. From the very beginning, I guess this is from the time I was a youngster, people have been constantly putting the baton, you know, the thing that the leader does, in my hand. I didn't ask for that. But after a while, you get used to this. And after a while, this is all you know. So I've kind of been a band leader since I got started in the business. But I enjoy being a sideman as well, working with people like what you heard this evening.
Yeah. Well, that's not a sideman, that's all leaders,
right,
5 leaders.
Well, right, you're exactly right. Let me hasten to correct that. We are all leaders, but together we sort of come together and hopefully form a nice chemistry and present some nice music. Thank you. It's always a pleasure for me to play here in Holland. Oh, this is one of my favorite places to play.
You mean audiences do make a difference?
Oh, of course. Wow. Holland has got a very unique audience. I mean, don't ask me to define that, but there's something...
Would be nice.
There's something magical about the Holland audiences that they seem to really understand the music that I'm involved in. I mean, without effort, it's almost like they knew about it all along. Without having to learn about it, they just kind of knew about it. And I'm sure this is largely responsible. Dexter, people who came over here a long time ago and did a lot of playing over here. Coleman Hawkins, Webster, Don Byas. They sort of paved the way for us, and I'm very happy to have been able to follow in their footsteps and perhaps do a little paving the way for others myself.
Yeah, beautiful.
Great.
Like I said earlier, this should really be on a record, the concert that we just heard.
Wow, maybe we can tell some record producer out there who might catch this show here about that, and perhaps we'll bring it about.
Thank you a lot for being here.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Tony Williams, what I remember from you is that your first gig as a teenager, I think even, was with Jackie McLean, is that so?
My first band away from Boston after, yes, was with Jackie McLean.
How did you feel about that time when you went to New York to record for the first time with all the great people, you know?
I felt quite natural. It was something I wanted to do and I had worked for a long time, and I had planned on it, so it was in my plans.
Has there been any change in the music now that I hear the kind of music that you're playing with this quintet? You know, it's a matter of we play 1 week another same kind of music, and then we start shifting to another kind of music. Fusion, whatever you want to call it.
I don't understand the question.
Well, what I mean is that the music that was played at this concert was pretty bebop-y,
yeah,
so to speak.
Yes,
And,
progressive jazz.
Progressive jazz, that strikes me, that expression, because a certain Mr. Stan Kenton used that.
For that time, what he was playing was for what for what this time is now. This is progressive contemporary music. That music you heard tonight.
But it will not mean that you leave the kind of music that you played earlier.
No, not at all. No, I do this because I do this just like anything else I do. I do it because I like doing it. I like playing with these musicians.
Yeah, you mean to say that there's no boundaries in the music that you want to play with?
Not for me. No, there's no boundaries. I like all music. I listen to just about all music.
What was the first record that you ever heard in your life? Jazz record, rather.
The first jazz record I ever heard, it was probably something by Count Basie, I think. My father had a lot of Count Basie records. Yeah.
It's always the parents, huh?
Yeah, exactly. It was my father anyway. My father and my mother were great influences on me. I can't express how much I am grateful to having such wonderful parents.
When did the first influence?
I can actually. I can express it, but I won't
Do it.
bore it with you now. I don't. No. They're great. My mother and father. Yeah.
What was the first influence on your own instrument? I mean, Sid Catlett, or did it go?
No. Actually, the first influence was Art Blakey, but the greatest influence on my drumming was Max Roach. But above that, I think the first real musical influence was Miles Davis. So my musical influence, my first great musical influence was Miles Davis. Even before I played with him or played in his band, he was a musical influence. Max Roach was my drumming influence. It's a little complicated, but that's a bit of information. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Thank you. Yeah.